I think this grace of God has given us the sense of prayer and then the sense of what we call transcendence, the the grace to go beyond the ordinary, to think beyond what is happening. And that is also the key to what we ordinarily call optimism or even positivism, and not to wallow in things that are negative. And what transcendence can we have if not to go to the author of life himself?
Good day. Welcome to the Leader's Edge. Today it's season 17, and I'm your host, Dino Santos. And I'm here today with Sister Bernadette Racadio, who is with the Paulinian Order. I'll let her introduce herself some more as she talks to us today about a possibility, a way of reducing the shortage of young ladies who join the order. Sister Bernadette, could you please introduce yourself a little more to
Yeah,
our viewers?
Sister Bernadette Racadio. I'm a sister of St. Paul of Start. Our origin is in France. That's why it is sharp. And our mother house or provincial house is in Antipolo City.
Mm. Okay, so how did you know that it was your calling? I mean, at what age did you feel that you wanted to be part of the order?
Well, my case is atypical because in most, if not all, congregations have age limits, and beyond the limit, they cannot enter anymore because of many reasons.
Mm.
But in my case, I entered at the age of 40,
Wow.
and that is grace because, first of all, I believe that a religious vocation comes from God.
Mm.
Even if we say that the root of vocations comes from the family, the first step of a religious vocation is always from God.
Mm.
And the response will come in different forms. And the call, as they call it, may not necessarily be, it may not necessarily be a physical call.
Mm.
But again, the Lord gives so many ways for a person to feel that she wants to give her life to the Lord.
Mm.
In my case, I have a sister who entered at the age of 28, and we have 20 years as difference, age difference. So when she entered, I was in grade 2.
Hmm.
And she, being a good person that she has always been my guide, but I never thought that I was enticed by her to become a sister.
Mm.
What her person is for me to emulate because she's very understanding, sweet, and I cannot think of other adjectives to describe her goodness. She's
Perhaps I can
prayerful.
help a little bit.
Pardon?
Perhaps I can help a little bit because
Aha.
I've met her. And
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, Sister
Angeles.
Angeles is one of the most fastidious sisters I've ever met because she is very organized. She's always prompt. And one of the more defining characters that she has is you have this sense that she is in charge. And in charge she did because she became like the head of St. Paul's College in Antipolo, the way that Sister Bernadette became the head of St. Paul's in Pasig, Marilao, Quezon City,
Bocaue.
Bocaue.
Uh,
She's been everywhere. So it seems to have been a very interesting journey for you.
for me,
Yeah.
yes. Um, that is why I think all those privileges, all those positions, all those accomplishments, as they call them, I think they were means for me to think that I could not have done them alone without God's help. And actually, all I know is when I decided to become a sister, to give my life to the Lord, it was my way of thanking Him for so many graces that I have received in my life.
Mm.
I said, how could I thank the Lord? I, I at that time I couldn't think of anything that I did not do for a professional,
Mm.
for somebody who is in the job.
Mm.
I think I got everything positive,
Mm.
no sweat.
Yeah. And I understand that one of the things that makes you unique and Sister Bernadette is first of all a very humble person. Ever since I've known her, she's been somebody who lived the virtue of humility because unknown to a lot of people, she does hold many degrees. I think you have a few PhDs.
PhD in literature and uh, doctorate in educational management and leadership at
Wow.
De La Salle. And
Mm.
my literature is from UST.
Awesome. And one of the urban legends I keep hearing from your nieces and nephews, and maybe you could confirm it for us, was how you found it so easy to study and learn. Maybe that was God's way of giving you a gift to understand easily.
Yeah, it's really a gift. I myself can't explain
Mm-mm.
how things have been easy for me. I didn't look for a job. Jobs came to me, you
Yeah.
know. Even when I was studying, the best subject I had was free time because I could go to the canteen and talk to my friends.
Yes.
And then, even when I taught,
Mm-mm.
teaching was a beautiful experience. That's why I don't remember any class that was problematic.
Mm-mm.
That's why I said, why?
Mm-mm.
And I cannot think of a reason. That's why I said, this God who has given something I don't understand, who has given me many things which I cannot understand, but which I am grateful for, must be really a great God. And
Mm-mm.
I don't know how to thank Him except to give back this life that He gave me
Mm-mm.
through service. So at one point, I said, I think I can offer my life to the Lord, no matter how lowly this life is, because nothing is worthy
Mm-mm.
of this King. But He looks into the heart, and that is what I banked on. And so it happened.
What an incredible journey. And I take it from your life experience that being a sister is not necessarily something that one might call routinary, because while there is that, a certain amount of time must be spent in meditation and prayer and in service to others, there's also opportunities to do other things such as run a school or teach young people. So there is, however, as I remember discussing with you earlier, a dilemma that's going on in the sisterhood, which is the lower number of people entering the call.
Yes. Yeah, when you ask me that, actually, the decline in religious vocation
Mm.
is not only in the Philippines, it is worldwide.
Wow.
And thinking about it, of course, as I said earlier, religious vocation, and even any vocation for that matter, always starts from God.
Mm.
But our cooperation is needed,
Yes.
and the influences of people are needed. especially in the family.
Mm.
And that is why, if ever there is a shortage now, perhaps because there's also a certain change going on in families.
Yeah.
During my time, at least, we had close relations.
Mm.
There was a time for prayer,
Mm.
even if naughty as we were with my brother, laughing during prayers, we were there at prayer.
Yeah.
And then we would go to church. My sister used to hold my hand, and my brother would hold the other hand of my sister. He would bring us to the Stations of the Cross. Again, we were laughing because everything was funny whenever uh, prayer time comes, church time comes. I don't know why we always laugh, but that laughter was unforgettable for the two of us. And
Well,
that is why I think this grace of God has given us this sense of prayer, and then the sense of what we call transcendence, the the grace to go beyond the ordinary, to think beyond what is happening. And that is also the key to what we ordinarily call optimism, or even positivism, and not to wallow in things that are negative.
Mm.
And what transcendence can we have if not to go to the author of life himself, to give our effort to this God who has given his all, who has become man for human beings who are ungrateful.
So I take it that there is a correlation between the lower number of young ladies
Mm-mm.
entering the vocation and, say, the distraction that the 21st century has brought with
Yeah.
it.
So, yeah, I think I told you earlier also that the family setup now is unlike our times.
Mm.
So, what is the setup now? The setup is less communication.
Yeah.
More communication through the phone,
Yes.
text messaging. Even if you are seated side by side with your sister or with your brother,
Yeah.
both of you are texting.
Mm.
When you are eating, things are being texted about. And what do you talk about? Something that you've just seen in the phone. And then you stop again and read again. So there is no real interchange of pain or sorrow or even goals, because things are snatched by distraction and by the world changes that are happening.
Mm.
And you also ask me, how about those people in the blacks, or those whose family setup is not like the Filipino setup? And I remember telling you that even these people, because our congregation is international,
Yes.
we have convents in Congo, in uh, Africa, in where else? Madagascar.
Madagascar, yes.
They might have different family setup, but I think because of the less distraction there,
Yeah.
there is still a communication of something that is transcendent, which might not be our lingo, but they understand one another,
Mm.
and they're able to also communicate with the children that life for them is not all playing drums or swaying or climbing coconut trees,
Yeah.
because we have a notable number of vocations coming from those countries.
So,
So,
is it safe to speculate
mhm,
that perhaps one of the secrets to attracting more young people to the vocation, especially to the sisterhood, is to reinforce this sense of connectedness among families,
mm,
however however cliched it might be, it's still true that the family that prays together
Stays
stays
together.
together, and ultimately some of them will feel the call.
Yeah, I think so. Because if you have the family that stays together, you can see in that family that there is also serving one another, and there's the value of being other centered. Therefore, that sense of service and offering that service not only to each member of the family, but to one who gives the family, who is God, then that can inspire vocation.
Wow. Sister Bernadette, if a young person, a young lady somewhere,
Mhm.
especially those who are watching us, would like to know more about the order and what it's about, is there a website that they can
Yes,
look at?
we have the vocation website, SPC vocation. I will give you the exact address if you're interested.
Yes.
And then there is also what we call the vocation promotion recollection every third Sunday of the month in schools and even in the provincial house where I stay.
I see. Um, Now, just as assurance to the young ladies who might not be who might be worried that when I say yes, does that mean that I'm committed, or is there like a period of time where, like in the priesthood, they're asked to search themselves if this is really for me?
Yes,
Uh,
actually, that's the reason why there are stages in this religious formation.
ah,
We have the aspirancy stage, and then followed by the postulancy, and then postulancy is 1 year, and then we have the novitiate, that is for 3 years. And then when they are exposed to the different ministries or apostolates, that's 5 years. We call that the juniorate. And when we make our final vows after
wow.
8 years.
After 8 years.
Yeah.
So if you're still unsure after 8 years, that's strange because yeah, but all that time to make up your mind. And in terms of the career of Sister Bernadette here, she has been around the country, and I
And
suppose
around the world.
around the
Mhm.
yes around the
Yeah.
world. So travel is also a distinct possibility. So you could visit. So
You
the
may look
Bible,
for me.
true.
Yes,
The
sure.
Bible describes those of us who are called to hear His voice. You know, Jesus did say, "My sheep know my voice." We're described as the salt of the earth.
Yes.
We keep the world together. Is there a message you'd like to give to young ladies?
Yes, my dear ladies, the religious vocation is worth thinking about and praying for, because there are many boons to become a religious.
Mm,
It's not a straight way, but the way is sure to lead you to the God who is the God of everything, God of your home, the God of your parents,
mm,
the God of your family, the God of your career.
mm.
And it is rewarding because you plant the seed and He will help you nurture and make it flourish, and it's worth. There's nothing like working with God and with your fellow men.
Thank you so much, sister. And I'm sure those among you listening to Sister Bernadette right now may have been um, her former students. And so
Yes.
if you want to reach out to her, she's on Facebook, I
Uh,
think. How did they find you on Facebook?
uh, my Facebook, they just look for Bernadette Singson Racadio.
There you go. So it's easy enough to get in touch, say hi, drop a line,
Yes.
because those who serve still need our support and our encouragement. Uh, it is sometimes lonely, but it is always worthwhile. So, with that, I'd like to thank all of you for watching our episode today. And I'd like to encourage you to click like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to hear about a young Filipino who in 1954 really made everyone proud, long before Pacquiao, long before any of the other like Efren Bata Reyes Jr. I'm talking about Johnny Antillon, who in 1954, as a teenager, was invited to the United Nations to engage in a debate with other teenagers from Norway, the US, the UK, India, Vietnam, a global debate about how to deal with communism. And that's coming up in our episode number 7 of Tip Talks. And so, with that, always remember that learning is a never ending journey with limitless vistas. Good day.